All right, look at that. Every trash day, one of my neighbors puts a bundle of this stuff out, and it disappears. Now it has reappeared in my shop. I'm going to show you what I can do with that stuff. All right, all I got to do is clean off this miserable table saw. Look at all this crap. Oh my God. Well, everything's got a place. I just got to put it there. All right, here's the two basic sizes of targets that I use. That little one's about 9.5 by a foot, and then the other one's about 18 by 13 3/4, right in through there. That's just the two sizes that generally I can get the most of, so that's what I've been working with. I'll show you some more in just a minute. All right, now I've got that bundle of boxes sorted out as to which size will best make the size target I want with the least amount of scrap left over. And some of these big ones will have pieces left over that can be cut to that target size. And if some of them come out a little thinner, then I've got other targets that I can use for them, but still use the good cardboard. All right, a little more later, I'll show you how I get this saw set up and run this real quick. All right, now the first thing I want to do is I got to establish two right angles on these boxes that I can work from for the final size. So I could take my pocket knife or a razor blade and cut these boxes apart, but I find it just as easy to run them on the table saw and go through both the big stack and the little stacks. They'll all open up. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just take off one edge so I can open all these boxes without all that other mess. All right. Let that stop turning. Now see, I can open them up. Now this size box, I'm going to be using that small target. So the other angle I want to establish is knock off this crease right here. So I'll do that on the next pass when I trim all the boxes in the other direction. And I get all them all caught up to where the two piles are cut like I want them, you know, for rough size. And I'll show you how I set it up for the final target size. It ain't that big a deal. Where am I looking? Look over here. Okay, it ain't that big a deal, so just watch. You guys will see. It's certainly worth the effort. All right, now I'll move the fence over. Give me some working space here. Because all these boxes have different size flaps. So I'll just run them by eye using this crease as, you know, my line to cut on. and then that establishes the right angle cut I need for actual sizing. So I'm going to bust off all these flaps now. I've gotten down to where I can work with these right here for the size I want. Is this next size, when I cut them off this way, all that's going to be scrap. It may be this far into some boxes, it may be just over the crease, but just try to, you know, cut them so I can get the most use out of the square footage that I have of this stuff. They don't have to be perfectly the same size. They just want them square so they'll hang in my backstop. Okay, there you are. I've got all my flaps trimmed and I've got my boxes all divided so that one side's separate from the other. I just got this one flap left on this box, both sides. So now the first thing I want to do is get all my targets of this size that I can out of the amount of material I have. So you'll notice I can get 1, 2, 3 cuts out of just this one piece. So the first thing I do, set up the width on it with the fence, and then I'll cut all these small boxes to the width of that fence, or to the width of that small target. Alright, so I got one there, one there, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 small targets out of one small box. That ain't a bad deal, huh? Alright, I'm going to go through all the rest of them, then I'll show you what's next after we get all of our cardboard sized up. Or it ain't cardboard, it's corrugated board. I used to wire all the machines that made this type of stuff. The machine that makes this right here is 300 feet long, 20 feet high, about 25 feet wide. Takes about 8 or 10 men to run it, from feeding paper rolls on one end and then managing all the process in the middle and then taking the stacks off the other end. Takes a steam boiler, compressed air, and a whole lot of electricity. That's where my part came in, and a whole lot of motor control. Every time I pick up a piece of this stuff, it reminds me of what I did all my life. So, corrugated board. Well, I've always got my head cut out of the target somehow. I mean, out of the damn camera. Well, all right, I got my stacks cut right here. That's what I got out of those boxes I got off the trash thing out there. And now I'm set up to put the target faces on them. I'll show you how easy that is. All right, look out, baby girl. You can't get in this. All right, now, these things are made out of signboard, you know, like come vote for so-and-so. They put them all over the highway. Well, after the voting's over, I go collect a bunch of them. And then I used a hole saw to cut this 5-spot target. And this is corrugated board too. You can see that edge. It's just made out of plastic, so these will last a long time. So there's a 5-spot target there. And I use little lead weights to hold them down. There's my standard silhouette. Old James Pollard got me into shooting with a timer. Wrecked my game. I love it though, it's fun. And I use this generally to practice with a timer. I do a thing called what is it? It's a double tap and one to the head. So it's set the timer, when it goes off, bang, bang into this spot, and then bang into the head. And I can hang 2 of these side by side in my backstop and load one of my magazines for the 1911 with 6 rounds. And so I can shoot a timed event with 2 silhouettes, or just one, just whatever I want to do, you know. Then when you get feeling real cocky and you think you're shooting good, I go to this target. See that? Hostage. Can't shoot the hostage, or you go from a hero to a 0 instantly. Everything's got to be here. Of course, this is a timed event too. This one will really check you up. I enjoy this target immensely, but it's humbling. I've shot the hostage 2 times already. All right, so on this one, we use this size. And there's your standard old bullseye. And then in just a minute, where are they? I'm right here. I got a reflection going in this thing. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. I'll show you how to spoof these up just a little bit more so they look like store-bought targets. Okay? All right, hang in there. All right, now we're gonna spoof them up a little bit. I'll show you what I get off of Midway. You probably buy these things anywhere. These are little target centers here. These kind here make the holes bust open like this on impact. They're kind of fun. I mean, you're not having to look for a little tiny hole. You get a big old spot that you can see. And so I like these. And then they make these little centers here. And you can put those on there. And then I found these 3-inch spots here. They come in a little roll. I got a use for those too. So as you see this target, take one of these and stick it right there. Take one of those, put it right there. All right, there's your store-bought target. Didn't cost you anything but the stickers, and I don't know how much I spent for them. I just buy them because they work, you know. A few cents a piece maybe, I don't know. So there's that. And I can do the same thing here, or I can use some of these kind. Now these don't blow big holes like these others. These are just stick-on centers. So I can put one right there. Put one right there. So there's a hostage target all set up, ready to go, ready to make you feel real humble. I guarantee you that. All right, so there's that. And then here's a standard old target, and what I like on this one, and it's the reason I found these, is that 3-inch target center goes in there real good. Now, the reason for these sizes, you can get these things here in all different sizes, but the reason I use the 3-inch, and these are 2 3/4 or 3, they're all pretty near the same size, is I shoot at 10 yards all the time. So free-handed, you know, I don't shoot off a bench or nothing like that. So these are real hard targets for me to hit. Sometimes I can't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. So these are very challenging, especially when you're using a timer. So that's the whole thing, boys. You can make your own targets, and just one little stack of boxes will make you more targets than you can use on a day or a weekend with your buddies. I've got those things stacked everywhere in here. I've probably got 200 or 300 of them now, and it's only because every time I see 2 or 3 or a dozen boxes out there at the trash where we take our cans, on the back country out here, we have to take our trash cans out next to the highway. They don't like coming up these little gravel roads and stuff with that big truck. So everybody lines them up out there on Sunday night. And when I get there, if there's cardboard out there, corrugated board, I'm gonna get it. Now you notice behind me right there, I've got a bunch of flaps left over. They didn't work for the standard sizes I like to work with, but they have a use too. I'll bust all these flaps down to something like this. Then I'll get this thing here again. Bada bing. Or if I want to use one of these, bada bang. What's this good for? Think about it. When you're doing pistol load workups, because I'll hang on to these and write notes on them as to what the powder and the bullet was, or the cast, you know. And then after I do a whole series of workups on one cartridge and one cast model, then I can go back and look at them and go, well, here's what I think about this or that, and it helps me come up with my load workup. So just a little organization to my madness and my OCD, right? Everybody knows I got that. All right, so that's my little deal on targets today. I hope I ain't left nothing out. Okay, boys, have fun out there. Be careful. Watch that 6, and don't hurt yourselves. Goodbye. All right. Always forget something. I was sitting here having a cold beer and reviewing these videos before I go upstairs and put them together. I left something out. I didn't tell you how to make those target templates, you know, for spray painting. Just a little router. Now this is a little trim router, so it's small, it's easy to handle. But I could use one of my big routers if I wanted to, just Whatever router you got, use it, okay? I use a little 2-flute trim bit here. And what I do, put that in the router, and I adjust it so it's cutting just about that. Let me see, I hold it. You can see the edge of those flutes there. They're about, 3/30 seconds deep. I'll adjust it so it'll cut through that plastic, and then just maybe 3/30 seconds or 1/8 deeper, and so it goes all the way through as you're cutting on that plastic. So I'll lay a blank piece of that corrugated plastic down, and I'll draw the silhouette or whatever kind of target you want to make. But you notice I leave these spots here, 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 all the way around, down through here where the corners connect, so these pieces don't fall out. So you don't have to have them painted perfect like a real store-bought silhouette, but you just draw them in, get it all nice where you like it, and then take your time, and then gently set your router down on the material. Now I'll put a piece of cardboard behind it, corrugated board, like this, and I'll gently ease my router in, and it's got a bottom you can see through. Ease it in, and then bring it across and stop, bring it across, and just work all the way around this target until I got all the lines routed out. And don't forget, you got to leave these or else the center will fall out. Then you ain't got nothing. So you have to spray paint the whole damn thing black. So that's how I did that with a router. Real simple. Just make sure you put some cardboard behind it or you're going to score up your bench. You know what I mean? That router digs into the cardboard. It cuts all the way through this plastic corrugated board, and ba-bum, you got yourself a template. And then this paint will just dry and dry and dry and get thicker and thicker. I've been using these things for a long time, and I haven't had to replace them. So that's what I forgot to tell you. Okay? All right, so hope you enjoyed this video, boys. That's how we do it here at the Old Man's Shop. See you later. Bye.